Hey, Julian, it's good to see you again, my friend.
Good to see you again, Steve.
Awesome. So, questions about teams. You know, people can't do this alone, can they? So, you must have some stories to share with us about building teams around these projects you're doing.
Okay, yeah. In terms of what we do, we tend to work with a lot of the same consultants, a lot of the same contractors. We've got time served sort of experience of working with them as we come through, and in that we're slightly familiar.
Okay.
Um, in that respect. But what we do is we tend to, on a new project, we can introduce our consultants, our contractors, and we'll then manage them and form that through. So one of the good example, if you like, of how we took a team through to the end would probably be Sam's Riverside, which was a project back in, well, a part of the country that I quite like. It was in Fulham, just up nearby Hammersmith Bridge. It was a £1 million restaurant. We worked as QS and project manager and CDM on the job. We got to know the client through during the course of the project. We'd actually worked for the client many years ago in as a QS guys, and it was good that we came back and was able to work with them again over at Hammersmith. What we learned the sort of new side of the client, new inputs that we had there, and we were able to put together, working with consultants on the design side that we worked with for over 25 years. We were able to put together a consultant team and a project contractor team that grew with the job and all sort of pulled in the same way to actually deliver what could have been quite a difficult project altogether.
Yeah.
So the challenges of the job were dealt with, and the sort of crisis management, if you like, elements of it was there, where there were some unforeseens caused by third-party bodies. But basically, we were able to smooth that out and all work together to actually form that team. And got some great photographs of the sort of project team all stood up by the river and that sort of thing, together all as one, really.
So, Sam's Riverside. Tell us about Sam's Riverside.
Sam's Riverside is a brasserie restaurant. It's based up near Hammersmith Bridge. Sam, very much front of house, very much the sort of day-to-day convivial host. We've got a bar in there. We've got an open kitchen, so you can actually see the product being produced through. Very good clientele. In terms of repeat business, very good business. Sam and Fanny run it very well, and you know, it's a real pleasant place to go and have some good plates of food.
Gotcha. So, with regards to the team aspect, then, what impact did your teams have on Sam's Riverside?
Okay, well, we had a very difficult, tricky, if you like, shell development, which came across from the landlord. One or two sort of problems thrown in there in terms of electrical loading, and what supplies could come into a restaurant, and how we had to sort of really work through that. We were working through difficulties, if you like, in terms of the residents that were above us. Above Sam's Riverside is a new development of flats, basically.
Okay.
It's also a TV studios for the old Hammersmith studios.
Right. Okay.
At the same time, and there's elements of office. So there was various noise restrictions and that sort of thing. But what we were able to do is actually form that contractor, specialist contractor, consultant sort of framework, if you like, to actually address those issues and work together in how we can address the landlord, how we can address deficiencies in what we had. You know, I think the electrics was ultimately only about 2/3 of really what we should have had,
right,
as an overall. But we were able to find ways and be creative to make that work, coming through.
So, what, you know, if I'm opening a restaurant tomorrow and I've got those challenges, or maybe I don't know that I've got those challenges going ahead, what would you be telling me?
I would be telling you to employ someone like ourselves early in the process, so that we can actually manage, or we can identify what those risks are.
Yeah.
And some of those were identified quite early. Some of those changed halfway through the job.
Right. Okay.
But if we can identify those risks early enough,
Yeah.
then we can deal with them and understand how we can deal with them and what compromises are needed, so that we can then make that at the end of the job as smooth as possible. We don't want to be your hero. We just want to be your manager that manages it through. We don't need to have that crisis management right at the end to deliver. We want to be right the way through, understanding that for you, so we can actually deliver that for you.
Hence having a team of experts.
Yeah.
Completely get it. So Julian, if people are thinking about opening their own bar or restaurant, what's your first tip? Obviously you've shared that with me, but what, someone new to it saying, do you know what, I'd love my own bar at some point, but if someone thinking of it right now, I want to open a bar or restaurant, what's your best advice?
I think you need to go get on your out in your local facility of where you want to actually form it. Walk the streets.
Yeah.
See the type of units that are on the different streets. See what different times of day provide as well.
Okay.
Think about your brand of what you actually want to be doing and what you want to be delivering, and then from that, find the best place within that sort of local area for that unit. And then once you've found that unit, or are thinking of finding that unit, you employ others to actually find it for you, giving them that brief, or get busy taking down telephone numbers, ringing people, walking in, making cheeky offers even, to see if you can actually get in there. What I would say is also employ someone like ourselves early enough in that process. We can help you. And as a good pointer, have a look at our website for the video where we spoke with Sam and Fanny afterwards, and actually had their sort of feedback on how we'd actually help them.
Awesome.
Okay.
Julian,
first point of contact, I would say though, my email, julian@jca-ltd.co.uk. I would welcome any email that you want to actually sort of express what your needs and requirements are, and then we can try and address it for you.
Awesome. You beat me to it, my friend. Take care. Thanks a lot, Julian.
Thanks for your time.